I'm going to start beating the eggs. I want those eggs, and there are whole eggs here. I want them nicely aerated. So I want them to triple their volume, become super, super light and fluffy. And then I will start incorporating the sugar. So I will be starting by beating the eggs with medium speed till I get enough air pockets, all looking pretty much at the same size, before increasing the speed to maximum. Then once the speed will be increased to the maximum, I will start adding my caster sugar gradually till I will get a really nice, more like a mayonnaise looking like mix. Then I will add the rest of the dry ingredients and then the vanilla and lemon zest. So I'm going to start by beating the eggs. Medium speed for a few good minutes till I get a triple volume. If we just look at the mix right now, we see that it's quite light, but not at the stage I want it to get to. So I will carry on, gently increasing the speed now. After about 2 minutes, we will notice that the volume starts getting quite big and the texture of the mix is quite aerated, but it's still runny. Yeah. So the pockets of air, they do look still like different sizes. Some of them are quite small, some of them are large. So I want to carry on beating till all look pretty much uniform. I can increase the speed now. And when the air pockets will look quite uniform, they will be smaller and will just give a nice body to my mix, I will start adding the sugar. So probably another 1 minute or so. We'll leave it to beat and they will come back. After 2 more minutes of beating, you can notice that the volume is larger. It's almost like 3/4 of the size of this bowl. So I can start adding gradually the sugar just to show you how the air bubbles should look like when you reach the right stage. It's a soft peak, but all the air bubbles look quite tiny and already the mixture has a bit of body. So what I'm going to start doing, maintaining this high speed, I will start adding the sugar. Make sure when you put the sugar, you put it on the side because if you would touch your whisk, you might spread everywhere. So just do it like little by little. If you put it all in one go, it will just drop on the bottom of the bowl. So we don't want that to happen. And we'll carry on baking probably for another 2 minutes. Now, just want to remind you that when you start preparing the mix, you have to make sure that your oven is already set for heating up. So my oven is set up now to get hot. The temperature is about 170 degrees. And I already have my baking tray lined. So when I will finish preparing the mix will go into the baking tray. The baking tray is straight in the oven. At this point, if I check the consistency, it looks quite fluffy and nice. So what I'm going to do, I will start pouring gently some oil, continuing to beat at high speed. I want this oil to help the sponge to turn up quite soft and pleasant to eat. So just going to put the speed back to 5 and then pour my oil on the side. Again, little by little. reason why I add a little at a time is I want this to be nicely incorporated rather than just getting down at the bottom of my pan, my preparation bowl. Okay, so now that it's incorporated, I'm going to add the dry ingredients. I can set my mixer on the side and just get all the rest of the ingredients in. So I've got some lemon zest. Just going to fold that in. There is no rule how you should add them, but as we know, gluten starts forming when we mix the flour. If it's a gluten flour, it's like a high protein type of flour. Um, Once we start incorporating the flour, that comes in contact with the liquid and starts developing the gluten. So we don't want that chewy texture. So we can just leave the flour right at the end. I've put some vanilla essence. Now, when in regards with the amount, it will depend on what type of flavor you use. I'm using Dr. Oetker Clear Vanilla, and it's oil based, so it's got quite a strong flavor. I'm going to put the poppy seeds, the coconut, the desiccated coconut. Just going to fold those in gently. Don't want to knock out the air. And I'm going to sprinkle now the flour. I'm using protein, like cake flour with a protein level of about 9 grams per 100 grams. So 9% protein. So it's kind of known as cake flour, but still I don't want to overmix. I just want to make sure that all the ingredients are nicely incorporated, don't have any flour stuck at the bottom of the pan, and then I'll just pour it onto my baking tray. Okay, just seems that it's all nicely incorporated, so going to shake this and obviously place it in here to be washed, and then get my baking tray and spread the mixture in here. I intend to bake my sponges in flat trays. The baking time is shorter. That should take about 15 to 20 minutes to bake. I will check after 15 minutes. When I give you those timings, I give the timings based on what on the my equipment. Again, with the beating, so when I say 2 minutes, it might take 3 minutes in your mixer, because everything depends on the type of equipment, how powerful that is, and how you can manage to set the speed. Same with the oven. Your oven might be a bit smaller than mine, or bigger than mine, or more professional. I've got a semi-professional range, so it might take more or less, but I'll say 15 minutes at least. So we'll check after 15 minutes, and the temperature is about 170 degrees. So put that in the oven and come back in about 15 minutes. So our sponge is now done. It took 15 minutes to bake it. And I've got my racks in here. Obviously the tray is quite hot. So I'm going to place the tray on top of the rack. Detach the edges to make sure that they will not break when I'll pull this on the side. Okay, and then I will just transfer this on the rack and get the tray out of the way. And now if I want to just show you how the back of the baking looks like, I will put another rack on the top, flip the sponge upside down, and just gently detach. Now, because the sponge is still hot, it's also very soft, so I have to work with care and detach the sheet without breaking the sponge. Just gently peel off to reveal the back, and just to show you it's all looking good. So nice and springy, soft, and quite even, so it doesn't really require any kind of trimming because it's all kind of leveled already, and that's the advantage of baking into a flat tray rather than just baking into baking tin, which involves the edges to get burned and the center to be still soft and so on. So this will have to be left to cool, and then we'll cut out the pieces we need.